Okay, here's a game for you. You're wandering through a vast wilderness where you can forage for supplies and hunt for tracks that will lead to your quarry. Finally, you're face to face with a massive, terrifying monster, and a mighty battle begins. This is Monster Hunter World, and it's one of the most popular games on Steam right now. So it's a brand new release, right? Wrong. It's 6 years old. Then why is it so popular? Well, some say that it's because a trailer for the next entry in the series got shown at the Game Awards. Or that Capcom put it on sale to be the lowest price it's ever been. Or they might even say it's because this guy decided to play it on Twitch to tens of thousands of viewers. But that isn't why people keep coming back to Monster Hunter World. The simple explanation is that it's one of the best action role-playing games ever made. Okay, so for the non-initiated ones, bear with me, but here's a little bit of history. So the Monster Hunter series is one of Capcom's most successful franchises ever, only second behind Resident Evil. The first two Monster Hunter games were developed for the PlayStation 2, but the next two entries in the series were known mainly for their handheld and Wii releases. This meant that, for nearly 10 years, Monster Hunter was not available on the cutting-edge consoles of each generation. But guess what? This all changed with Monster Hunter World. Monster Hunter World was released for the PS4 and Xbox One in January 2018, with the PC version coming just over half a year later. For the first time, hunters could catch and battle their monster prey amongst stunning, connected landscapes. Each location was filled with detail and amazing sound design, and each monster was beautifully handcrafted, with its own place in a living, breathing ecology in mind. Because of all these elements, the game was intended to be a starting point for people who had heard about Monster Hunter's unique gameplay for years, but couldn't find themselves getting into it. And what's really unique is that this purpose did not alienate its core audience. On the contrary, Monster Hunter fans loved it. But why? The core gameplay loop of Monster Hunter is quite simple. Head out from the base camp into the wild, pick up resources that might be helpful, follow clues and tracks, find the monster, battle the monster with an array of interesting and powerful weapons, kill the monster and take its parts, go back to camp, use the parts to make equipment, to make you strong enough to kill bigger monsters, to take their parts, to make even stronger equipment. Whew. Job well done. So while it shares a lot of RPG elements with some other games in the genre, the combination of action gameplay with hunting and crafting really made it unique. Also, the franchise was way more popular in Japan than in the West, until World. World truly lived up to its name with its huge, sprawling, breathtaking open-world landscapes that felt like an actual functioning ecology. The level of detail that went into each biome was simply stunning. The developers took full advantage of the higher processing power afforded to them by 8th generation consoles and PCs, and it shows. And because the environment was such a focus, it opened up new possibilities during combat. Each monster was designed to be fought a myriad number of ways, including setting traps and using elements of the environment such as hanging boulders, avalanches, or even bursting open a dam. You're also given help on your journey, your very own companion, the highly useful and endlessly cute Palicos. But also, in Monster Hunter, movement and weapon styles have weight to them. As each blow was dealt, it felt like there was real impact to them, especially when bits of the monster started breaking off. 14 different weapons with their own stats and skills gave the game a high level of replayability, with returning players having the option of sticking with a weapon they know or trying something new. All of these features combined to create one of the greatest games in the genre, and something people have been coming back to for years. But wait a second. Monster Hunter World isn't even the latest game released in the series. Monster Hunter Rise released in 2021 for the Switch, and at least until Wilds releases, it is still the new kid on the block. So why all the recent hype surrounding World and not Rise? Well, while Rise was a beloved entry, its release for a handheld device meant that graphically it had to be a step back from World. And with that step back, there had to be changes to gameplay and environment. Rise has been described as faster, more arcade-like, with less of the grounded, hefty combat of its predecessor. You also had a mount to ride, which made travel times a breeze, but often at the expense of immersion. But most of all, the landscape lost that interconnected ecological feel that had drawn so many new players in. That's not to say Rise is a bad game, far from it. But when the trailer for Wilds dropped, it reminded a lot of Monster Hunter fans of what they loved most from World. So the big question is, will Wilds be more like World or Rise? Experts think, this time around, Capcom will mix in a little bit of both, but based on the 90-second trailer, it's really hard to tell. For now, we've got Monster Hunter World, and we couldn't be happier. I mean, most of us, at least.